Hi Pisces, welcome to your 2026 prediction reading. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Laura, aka Baby Curl Tarot. I'm a tarot reader, astrologer, and root worker, and I love doing monthly readings for all the zodiac signs here on YouTube, as well as some other fun content over on TikTok and Instagram. This reading is different. We are going to be going month by month throughout 2026, pulling cards and just kind of getting a general idea of what the energy is like for each month for you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump right on into it. Keep in mind, Pisces, this is a general collective reading, so whatever comes up, comes up. Not every message is going to resonate for every Pisces out there, okay? So please take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Also, please do not ever try to force a reading you see on the internet to fit your specific personal life situations, okay? All right, let's get into it. Spiritual team, daily crystal inspiration. What messages do you have for the Pisces collective for 2026? What messages do you have for the Pisces collective for 2026? What do we got for Pisces? So I have 3 decks that I'm going to be shuffling and working with, so just bear with me. I'm going to shuffle first and then just keep pulling from the top of each deck for each month, okay? Spiritual team, Threads of Fate Oracle. What messages do you have for the Pisces collective for 2026? What messages do you have for the Pisces collective for 2026? Okay, that's deck number 2. Let's move on to tarot deck. Spiritual team, Divine Feminine Tarot. What messages do you have for the Pisces collective for 2026? What messages do you have for the Pisces collective for 2026? All right, what do we have? Oh, I like this. All right, January. We have Amethyst. Trust your intuition. We have Love. And we have the 8 of Swords in reverse. I love this. This is very sweet. This is very much like, there's nothing holding me back. I think there's a lot of potential for good. Obviously, love, romantic relationships could be blossoming in January. Some of you guys could be coming out of the dating zone and entering into like committed relationships with a partner. Some of you guys could be opening up and saying, I love you for the first time to somebody. But I just feel like this is an opening energy, like opening, being honest, being vulnerable, being like, hey, this is where I'm at, this is how I'm feeling, like, are we vibing, are we on the same time, are we on the same page, kind of a thing. And I feel like it's going to be received well. I feel like this is a really beautiful time for you guys in January in general. Even if it's not about romantic relationships, this could be you know, wanting to do something nice for somebody, or this could be wanting to invite somebody into something, like into a community, into a family, into your home, your company even. I just feel like this is a very embracing type of energy in January, and I feel like you guys will be able to follow your intuition, recognize like, okay, this feels right, this feels like the right time. This feels like the right time to share myself, share something, or, you know, just be a little bit more open to certain things. Generally, I love the energy of January for you guys. It feels really, really nice, really sweet. All right, let's take a look at February and see what is going on for you guys. Ooh, okay. So February, we have Ocean Jasper. Schedule yourself in. We have Ascension. Okay. And we have the 6 of Cups. This feels very, very fun. It feels creative. It feels playful. Some of you guys could be taking time in February to focus on like personal projects or things that are very personal to you in general. So let's say you work at a job and like you've been doing projects that like have just been given to you, and so you're like, okay, yeah, I'll take this, but I really want to work on this type of project. And I feel like in February you're finally starting to like step up and be like, hey boss, I really want to work on this project. What do you think? Can I get the green light for this? And you're like, yes, just make sure it doesn't interfere with any of the projects you have going on right now. So it's kind of like that green light to be like, yes, I get to play, I get to do something different. That's just for me. That's just, you know, coming from me, that I can express myself on uniquely, blah, blah, blah. Love it. Another message I got for some of my Pisces, some of you guys could be pursuing getting pregnant in February, and maybe that came with the decision in January. Maybe you guys are talking about, let's give it a try, let's see. Okay, so February could be a time where you really set aside time to, I guess, try and get pregnant. It sounds so silly, but like, y'all gonna be fucking. I mean, when you really get down to like being honest about it, like, y'all gonna be fucking in February trying to make a baby. It sounds so funny to put fucking and baby together. I guess you're gonna be making love. Okay, putting into practice. What is wrong with me? I think I'm a little loopy. This is my last reading of the 12 signs, so I'm a little worn out. Okay, mentally, verbally, even my throat is starting to be sore because these videos are really, really long. But generally, that's what I'm getting for February. It's fun, it's playful. Is baby making time? Okay. I'm so sorry. What is wrong with me? Let's move on. Let's move on to March. Okay. What do we got going on for March for Pisces? Ooh, okay. All right, we got rose quartz. Open up your heart. Okay. We have death. Now, for those of you that identify with the pregnancy thing, don't get freaked out because we have the star card here, okay? So when death comes up in the tarot or an oracle deck, it doesn't mean literal death all the time. It can also talk about like letting go of an old aspect of ourselves to make room for something new. So there could be this closing out of a chapter, there could be a leveling up, so to speak, but in that process of closing out one chapter to start another, you got to let go of some things. You got to, you know, when you move to a new house, maybe you get rid of some furniture, that kind of thing. So it's not necessarily a death, it's just, you know, an ending to begin something else. It is a cycle, you know, the cycle of life and death, basically, or the phoenix process of death and rebirth, right? So we let go of the old in order to make room for the new. So I do feel like there is something really beautiful happening in March where you are really letting go of something that maybe is holding you back. And I don't feel like it's a struggle for you guys. I feel like this is actually like, in a weird way, like kind of blissful because we have the star card here. The star card talks to me about wish fulfillment, things that we've always wanted, that we've always dreamed about having in our lives. And I feel like you guys are finally aligning or opening up to what that future that you've envisioned for yourself actually looks like and what it actually entails and requires you to do. So again, I feel like this is just a continuation maybe of February and January in terms of like we're purging things in order to make room for this next phase of our lives, to make room for the opportunities we've been pursuing the entire time we've been, you know, working for this company. Like now it's our time to shine. So what are we letting go of? Are we letting go of old habits? Are we letting go of old perspectives? Are we letting go of old approaches to how we do things? Whatever it is, I feel like it is you leveling up and becoming more aligned with this version of yourself, the version of yourself that gets everything they've ever wanted. Ah, beautiful. Love it. I can't. Okay. That's March. What's in April? What's happening in April for the Pisces collective? What do we have going on? Okay. Interesting. We have hematite. It says ground yourself. Okay. We have the shadow. Okay. We have the 8 of Cups in reverse, which can talk about going back to things that we walked away from. So maybe something we walked away from in March, something we let go of in March, we have to revisit in April. Okay, so maybe something that we didn't quite understand, something that we thought was not useful because it was maybe something we perceived as negative, right? So maybe this is like, let me put it this way. If you have a baby and you're like, I only want to breastfeed, formula is evil. Like, this is, again, it's an example, and it's a very extreme, it's a very extreme take, right? Maybe this is somebody that's like, I would never use formula with my baby. You're basically poisoning the baby. Natural is best, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you find out there's something happening within your body that doesn't allow you to produce enough milk, or whatever the case is. I don't know, maybe it's not healthy for your body to breastfeed. So now you have to go back and you have to reconsider. Now I have to do formula. Like, I have no choice. Or I gotta hire somebody to breastfeed my baby for me, which maybe is not feasible for you. And maybe you just don't want someone else feeding your baby. That's personally, I think that's weird. I don't know. Some people would be okay with that, but I just personally I couldn't get with that. But yeah, I feel like there is something happening, or you're realizing, or someone's telling you in April that you're like, dang, now I have to kind of go back and rethink this, because I never thought I would be put in this position. And now you're like in this position of like, dang, like I really don't necessarily love this, but I have to see it from a different perspective now because I don't really have much of a choice. Or I feel like this is something that is absolutely necessary. And it has a lot to do, I think, with like duality too. You know, we can both live in the light and in the dark, in this shadow area. You know, I can be a very warm and open person, but I also can have my own secrets. I can also have not so optimistic thoughts, or I can see things from a darker perspective and, you know, say or believe things that maybe other people wouldn't necessarily agree with because they think it's evil or too dark. I don't know. Again, just examples, just giving kind of extreme examples, because it does feel like there is kind of an extreme here in terms of like what you have to reconsider. It could be on the extreme spectrum of what you expected, wanted to do, whatever. Okay. But I feel like the more you look at this, the more you revisit this, you're going to see, you know what, it's really actually not as bad as I thought it was. It's not evil. It's not unhealthy. It's not whatever, insert thing here. And so I think this is a re-understanding of something that you wrote off in the past in April. Okay. Let's move on to May and see what comes out. Ooh. Okay. Here we go, May. We have Chrysoprase. Allow yourself to receive. We have Sacred Sexuality. Okay. And then we have Ace of Cups. I mean, I feel like you guys could be finding out that you're pregnant in the month of May. I don't have any other cards other than Sacred Sexuality that could indicate something like that. There are other cards like the Six of Cups that I would usually more associate with pregnancy, but the Ace of Cups talks about something new. Talks about something that lights up your heart and your emotions. So I feel like this could possibly be, hey, your fertility is fertilitying, okay? Gosh, I'm so loopy. I'm so sorry, Pisces. You get the the really, really off version of me today. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it just feels like this is everything you've wanted. This is like that fulfillment, like your cup has been filled. God, and that also can be such an innuendo. Even if you're not trying to get pregnant, I feel like if you guys are in a relationship with somebody, like a romantic relationship with somebody, I feel like you guys are like in sync, physically speaking, if you know what I mean. Things just feel really good in the month of May. I think I'm gonna leave that there. Even outside of relationships and outside of fertility and getting pregnant. I feel like those of you that are pursuing things like in your career or business or whatever, or in different things, I feel like this is a month where you really get to enjoy, right? When I think of sexuality, I think of pleasure, which brings joy to mind. So it comes back to like enjoying the things that we do on a deeper level. And I do feel like this Ace of Cups is like you really pouring yourself into your work, really enjoying it. You know, and I feel like people can also experience that joy or experience those emotions that you pour into this project by experiencing the work that you put out. I feel like they get the joy that comes from you when you work on this. And I feel like there's a lot of like also people willing to pour into whatever it is that you're pursuing in your career. So maybe you have investors, you have people wanting to buy or highlight or showcase what it is that you are working on, or let's say you own a restaurant, right? You have influencers that want to highlight, you know, your food and highlight your place of business, and you don't even have to pay them. They're like, I just really love this restaurant. I really love this food. I really love the vibe of this chef, of this business owner. I just love it. And like people share it. And it's like, it's just, it's unexpected. It's a really lovely feeling. Okay. So again, take what resonates, apply it to your own personal situations. Really just, I want you guys to take the core of what I'm saying in each month, the energy that I'm picking up on, and you can apply it to different areas of life. It doesn't always have to be just the examples that I'm giving. It's just the examples I give feel the strongest in terms of like what this could possibly mean. But literally it could mean many different things. Okay. So again, it's not always going to resonate, but it can if you kind of understand the core of the energy that I'm trying to explain here. All right, let's get into June. Whew, we have Jade, be the bigger person. We have the Seeker. We have the Page of Wands in reverse. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. Okay, so let's say... June is interesting. June is where the fuck boys come out. I fear the fuck boys are out and about in June with this Page of Wands in reverse and the Seeker. Honestly, like people just want whatever they can get from you. Like, hey, Pisces, can I get some of that candy you got? Can I get some can I get a free meal? Can I exchange my review on my platform for some free food? And you know, like it's the entitlement. It's the entitlement to your time. It's the entitlement to what it is that you do. It's the entitlement to who you are. It's the entitlement to your body. If you guys are dating, okay, let's say like in May, you guys were dating and you guys are like really starting to enjoy putting yourselves out there. And then June, come to find out, like you got all these fuckboys knocking at your door and you're like, damn, dude, like why do I keep running into people that make me have to be the bigger person? Frustrating. I hear you. But unfortunately, part of the process in a lot of ways, like dating or, you know, getting your business out there, there's going to be people that are going to want to like just take advantage of you and your time and whatever it is that you have to offer, because they see that there is something of value there and they want to have access to it for as little as possible, for as little money as possible, for as little time, as little effort as possible. There's no reciprocation that makes sense for you, but they still want access to it. And so they're still going to try and see how much they can get out of you for free. Okay. That's the energy of June. Let's see what's going on in July. We have Sodalite, speak your truth. Okay. We have Reflect. We have the Empress. I mean, the Empress tells me you're sitting pretty. You're definitely pregnant. You're definitely pregnant by now. If you guys have been trying, some of you guys could be announcing your pregnancy around this time. Some of you guys could be Some of you guys could be, let's say you are a business owner or you work in a very specific field. Some of you guys could be like sharing your experiences on social media for people to see and like get a behind the scenes look at what it's really like to do this kind of a thing. Maybe you're sharing your dating experiences kind of a thing, but it just feels like you're kind of, you're being open, you're being, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting energy. I feel like those are really great examples. Again, it may not resonate for all of you, but I hope you guys just take the core of the energy that I explained here. But I feel like a lot of you guys are kind of like sharing your experiences in a lot of way or sharing something with somebody. If you work for somebody else, let's say you work at a company, maybe you're doing a little bit of like annual review or like a post-project review, and you're going over like what went wrong, what went right, and your boss is like giving you feedback and they're like, hey, I really like what you did here, I think you could improve on this, I feel like this is a really good path for you, like I want to see you doing more of this. I actually really like the month of July for you guys on this. There's a lot of positive stuff. It may not feel, I mean, I think it is going to be a pretty big month for you. We have the Empress card here. I think it is going to be a really big month for you, a good positive big month for you guys. Okay, that's July. Let's move on to August. Let me just put that off to the side. Okay, what's going on in August? Interesting. Okay, we have Black Kyanite, set strong boundaries. Okay, we have compassion. And we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Very interesting. August. August has been weird energetically for the majority of each sign that I've done these readings for. So I think generally speaking, August is just funky. I don't know what's going on in the astrology of August, but something's happening because consistently everybody's having a tough time around the month of August. And I don't feel like this is any different for you guys. So I just want you to be prepared. There could be people that maybe are, it's kind of like the same energy of June with the Page of Wands in reverse. The Knight of Cups in reverse though feels like, I don't know. It just feels like these are unenthusiastic offers or unenthusiastic, like, or uninspired things. Like, I'm uninspired when I think of the Knight of Cups in reverse. Usually when the Knight of Cups is upright, like this is someone coming in wanting to be your significant other, like your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever. So in the up, and when it's in the reverse, it's like, I don't know, this person isn't super committed. Maybe they're doing something half-assed. Maybe they have ulterior motives. So it feels like while we are leveling up, we're starting to see progress. We're starting to see other things happening and coming through. There's also this like undercurrent of just sometimes more bullshit that comes with that. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. August just feels kind of meh. That's the best way I can describe it. It feels meh. It may be more frustrating than what I'm describing, but generally I'm just feeling this energy of like, I'm just not inspired. I'm not enthusiastic about what is being presented to me. I don't know. Okay, let's say, you know, your job, they're like, here, we want you to do the same thing you did with your last project for this client or this whatever. And you're looking at it and you're like, I don't know how I can put any kind of razzle dazzle on this. Like, this feels like they handed me the bottom of the barrel, or they handed you something like really tough, like a tough client that just is difficult to work with or boring or whatever. And you're just like, God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do here? So yeah, I feel like if this is in the dating world, I feel like you're probably coming up against, you know, more BS in August. Okay. So again, setting strong boundaries, being clear on who you are, what you're looking for, blah, blah, blah. This could also come in terms of like, if you own your own business and you have clients coming to you and you're like, this doesn't make sense for me to work on this. Like, obviously I want the business, I want the success. and I want the income, but like this just, I don't feel like this aligns for me. I just don't see how I could work with this person or do my best on this particular project or portfolio, whatever. And so you may have to turn people down. You may have to say, you know what, I just don't think this is a right fit for me at this time. So you may be going through a lot of that. I don't necessarily see like you being mad or like fighting with people, but it's like, no, you're just not the right one. It's just not the right vibe. I need more. I'm looking for more. I'm looking for something very specific, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, especially because I feel like the month of July, like you have this wonderful like energy of you being on top, of you being abundant, especially if this is business related. Like the last thing you want to do is to come off a high of like being super successful on something and then just not being inspired or just doing something kind of meh. Like this is the last thing you want, I think. All right, that's what I'm getting for that. For the month of August, I should say. Let's move on to September. Let's go on September for Pisces. Okay, so we have clear quartz. Get crystal clear. Okay, we have nature. We have the 9 of Cups in reverse. Interesting. This is really interesting. Why this 9 of Cups in reverse? I don't know. Some of you guys may be feeling like disillusioned with everything that you got at the beginning of the year. And you guys are like, gosh, do I really want this now that I have it? Kind of a vibe with this 9 of Cups in reverse. It's like, do I still really want this? Does this feel right for me? Does this feel like, you know, I'm still moving in the direction of my dreams? Does this feel aligned? It's almost like a be careful what you wish for kind of a thing. So September could be one of those months where you're like, damn, I don't know, I'm kind of regretting this a little bit. And that may just be coming off of like everything that's happened in August too. It feels like a slump. I don't think this is necessarily something that's gonna be forever, but I feel like this is a period for you guys where you're coming to understand like the reality of things, and not only the reality of things, but like maybe fine-tuning what direction you actually want to go. There could be multiple paths in your career, in your job, in your company, and you're figuring out, well, maybe I don't want to do this particular role, but I still want to be involved in this aspect of this part of the business, just in a different assignment, in a different role, because I still get to do this, but I get to do more of something else that I actually really like. More of. Does that make sense? I feel like you're getting clear. You're finally understanding like, okay, I got what I wanted. Maybe it wasn't everything that I wanted, but now I understand what actually makes more sense for me. What feels more natural to me, what feels more aligned with what it is that I want. Because I feel like maybe you guys are feeling like you are derailed a little bit from the goal, the dream. Does that make sense? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting for September. Let's take a look at October. I'm curious to see what happens next. Ooh, interesting. October kind of comes in with a bang. We have Shungite, detox your life. Okay. We have destruction. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Ooh. I mean, it's powerful. It's clear-headed for sure. It's very like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. And I feel like it almost feels like a bit of a death moment with this destruction card. You guys may have to get rid of or destroy certain things in order to create the life or the vision you have in mind for whatever this is. Yeah, it feels like there's definitely a purging happening here. It's letting go of things, letting go of ideas, letting go of a role, letting go of a company, maybe even. Some of you guys may feel like you're blowing up your own life in a lot of ways. Maybe you're moving. Maybe you are, I don't know. Whatever it is though, whatever it is that you're letting go of or, you know, destroying or deconstructing is going to be rebuilt with purpose. It feels like you guys are much more clear-headed in October with this Queen of Pentacles. You have a plan and you are being really intentional about what it is that you do moving forward with this, whatever this goal is, whatever it is that you're trying to pursue or make a reality. This is you being really dead set and dead serious about it. But I also feel like it's a bit of a death and rebirth thing. We have Shungite, we have destruction, which can talk to me about like the letting go, the part of the Phoenix transition that, you know, where they die and then finally they're reborn here with this Queen of Pentacles. It's kind of the energy I'm getting. So maybe the first half of October, maybe even the second half of September is where you're kind of like purging, you're getting rid of things, you are restructuring your plans, you're whatever. And then the second half of October is where you start the rebuilding process. You start putting more plans into place. You start rebuilding. And I feel like you're gonna see very consistent progressive growth because the Queen of Pentacles is a very abundant, much like the Empress. She's like a baby Empress to me. She's very abundant. She can like, you give the Queen of Pentacles a seed, she'll turn it into an entire garden, is the vibe of the Queen of Pentacles for me. So you may have like very little to work with by the end of October, but you're going to plant those seeds and you're going to start to see results very quickly. All right. That's what I'm getting. Or actually not very quickly. Some of you might see them quickly. Some of them, it might take time, but I think you are going to start to see results, at least in a positive direction, because Pentacles move very slowly. Does that make sense? Let's take a look at November. What do we have going on in November? Okay, we have turquoise, prioritize your health. And that, I think, is definitely for those of you who are pregnant around this time. Okay, so you guys may be entering, what is this, like your second trimester, maybe your third, depending on where you're at. We also have surrender. We also have the moon card in reverse. Okay, so there's a lot of things coming to the surface, maybe fears, maybe understanding some new things about your health, or you're understanding more the health of like your baby, because you can't really see the baby and the moon talks about things that are hidden or below the surface. So this could literally be referring to like the baby inside of you. If you're pregnant, understanding more about like the baby's health, or understanding more about like what steps you need to take, what precautions you need to take in order to make this or maintain this healthy pregnancy. Maybe you guys are being put on bed rest. Maybe you guys are having to do something a little bit more extreme in terms of taking care of yourselves. And even if you aren't pregnant, maybe you guys have to take an extreme measure in order to protect your health, mentally, physically, emotionally. You could also be prioritizing like the health of your business, if this is related to business or your career, something like that. Okay, so prioritizing the health of the business, prioritizing your health, okay, is basically what I'm seeing for the month of November. And really being honest and being real about the things that can potentially derail you, derail your health, derail your pregnancy, derail your business. getting real about all of those things that were hidden to you before, and now you can see them clearly a little bit, or a little bit more clearer, I should say. And you're surrendering to the fact that, you know what, like, this is something I can't control, and this is something that I have to work with or be conscious of, because this is not something I can control. I can only work with it or around it and make it, try to improve it the best way I can, right? So like, let's say you were diagnosed diabetic and you're like, okay, well, there's nothing else I can do about the diagnosis. So now I just have to be really conscious about what I eat, or being on top of my medications, or whatever the case is. So surrendering to the fact that, like, this is the new reality, this is what I have to do. And then just obviously taking responsibility and authority in terms of like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna handle this, kind of a thing. Hope that makes sense. All right, let's move on to December. Final month of the year. What do we got going on for Pisces? Ooh, I love how December ends. I love it. And I feel like every single sign had, like, even if they had like a tougher time, like towards the end of the year, December always kind of came out better. And that's kind of what is happening here. So we have Bloodstone, get up and get moving. Love it. We have get creative. We have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is beautiful. This talks to me about something new, starting something new aspect of your business, a new potentially trimester. Maybe some of you guys are giving birth around this time, but it feels like this is kind of go time. I feel like this is where you kind of kick things into gear a little bit more, and you really start to push for, you know, a new approach, a new project, a new service. Like maybe you guys are launching something around this time. If this is a business that you own, maybe you're launching a new product, or, you know, something that you offer to people. And it feels like it is a beautiful start, something to head into 2027 with. And I feel like this is an exciting time. I feel like this is a profitable time. I feel like this is a healthy time. And I really love how this ended for you guys at the end of 2026 here. So everything looks really great, Pisces. Please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the reading. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future. And maybe share this with another Pisces out there if you feel like they would really love to see this reading as well. And also don't forget, maybe come back to this video throughout the year. Maybe leave me some comments. I would love to know how all this plays out, if it ends up playing out for you and resonating for you guys. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about that. So definitely don't be afraid to come back to this video. If you want to see more content from me, I am on TikTok and Instagram. As I said earlier in the video, my handles are below in the description box. And those are the only two places you can send me a DM if you want to schedule a personal reading with me until I get my website set up, okay? As always, though, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. I hope to see you guys at the next reading. Until then, please take care of yourselves. Bye.